Much like Dear Esther, I was skeptical about why this game received such positive attention. I was jealous that I was too lazy to look for the game and give it a go. My envy was well placed, as the Stanley Parable's writing is superb and its comedic value rockets through the roof, but it's more than just a good walking simulator. Oh no, it's a good video game. You are Stanley, a jobsworth whose only task is to do what his boss says, and all his boss says is to push buttons on a keyboard. Not just any buttons though, specific ones. And that's all. Now this isn't necessarily just about pushing buttons, on the contrary, it's about the day Stanley doesn't have anything to do. To him, this is total chaos. He sat in front of his computer for an hour when he realises that his boss hasn't once told him which buttons to press, and for the first time since he started his job, he's given total freedom as to what to do. That is, if his life weren't being narrated by a disembodied voice. You're here to help with that. The object of the game is quite simple: to win. The narrator will assist you with that by giving you clear instructions as to where to go and what to do, and will gladly remind you if you get stuck. And you can't really be sure if the narrator is on your side until the very end, or rather, the end which you choose. No matter what you do, it's always certain that you'll win, or at least you'll end the game through narrative distortion or perhaps die. My advice when playing this game is to first follow the disembodied voice's instructions, beat the game, and then have your silly adventure. Or rather, adventures, because it's gonna get really addictive. The Stanley Parable isn't so much a parody of video game storytelling tropes, but a celebration, an exploration and critique of such tropes. This game isn't about following strict guidelines or just being arty. It's about having fun with total control over your actions and watching the narrator helpfully convince you that what you're doing is the wrong choice. It plays very much like a tabletop RPG campaign gone drastically wrong, where the Dungeon Master can't get the adventurers back on track, but doesn't necessarily want to end the campaign. It's going in a fun direction, so the DM doesn't close the adventure down, but screw him around too much, and the DM, this being the narrator, may wish to reboot the game, and cause all kinds of issues.
The one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? Now, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. That Stanley picks up the phone, he's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another.
And sometimes it's the moments where you don't do something. I mean absolutely nothing at all, where you can have a ball. My favourite moment was when I just sat in the broom closet and, well, I shan't spoil it, but if you're not laughing within 3 minutes of being in there, you're probably an automaton. Or a cat. But cats are cool, so I'll let you off. Automatons suck. Because the game records the progress of previous playthroughs in the same session, some features may only change if you've played at least 2 or 3 times without shutting the game down. The offices will be different, with papers scattered around, corridors not being where they should be, staircases not existing where they did previously, and new routes popping up unlike before. It makes for an exciting and innovative twist on progression and journeys in video gaming. And that's really it. I mean, I'm surprised I managed to say more about the game than "you're a bloke in an office who walks to places," because I'm sure you expect that kind of writing from someone whose channel's only been around for 9 months. Wait, did I just say writing? I mean, none of this is scripted at all. Cross over to Johnbonne and his throne facing the camera, not holding the script. It's time now to talk about the visuals and the sound design. The Stanley Parable is a stylish and elegantly crafted making of one of the most mundane ever locations in the real world look like heaven, and even as the story and its zones get darker, its simplicity and straightforwardness is alluring. You can't help but play the game again and again just to see how more beauteous the game can be. A couple of the textures I felt were a tad muddy, but whenever you saw the crisp graphics on the walls, doors, stairwells, computers, you name it, and I had to stop to admire them. Galactic Cafe did wonders with the looks and feel of the game. But it wouldn't be nearly as fun, clever or engaging without the excellent voice work by Kevin Brighting, and while there are many voice actors I prefer, none suit the game better than his work. His shifts in personality add so much to the originally two-dimensional narrator, and as you play more and discover different endings, you feel sorry for his struggles as a being with no control. Only suggestion.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times?
Oh, and apparently there's music. I didn't really notice much of it, but what few tracks I could hear over Brighting's role of the narrator were calm and docile, something I think adds an extra layer to the air and mystery permeating the game. Before we stamp our timesheets and set off home, it's time to take a trip to the coffee lounge and give you my final thoughts. Despite being simplistic in everything it does and offering you a few tools to defeat the officer's challenges, the Stanley Parable is a fun, witty exploration of video game storytelling and design, as well as being a great game in of itself. With fluent controls and a decent amount of interaction, you should have plenty to explore, ponder, and, well, just generally do. The only thing that makes me recommend the game less is its price tag of £9.99. I mean, it could be a lot worse, but a tenner for this kind of game may not be worth it to everyone. You've already seen the footage and there's plenty of Let's Plays you can see to judge the experience yourself, but each time you watch a video of it, there's less point of buying the game. I can't really say how long the game is. I mean, some sessions end in 5 minutes and others in 15, but I stopped playing after clocking around 3 hours and I'd found most of the endings. A shame too, because it's a good game, but not one you'll want to repeat constantly when you're running out of endings to discover. And while I do talk about the endings a whole lot, it's important to keep in mind that the journey is just as good, if not better. I can recommend the game if you've got money to burn and time to waste, but if you're looking for a serious, thought-provoking and harder impacting story, you may wish to look elsewhere. Johnbonne sat on his throne as the narrator interrupted him, waiting for me to finish. He was going to announce that Walktober would continue and that he'd have some more games to show you. He thanked his viewers for watching, gave a farewell, and then that end title thing he does played.
Oh, alright, what he said. Ta-ta for now.